Hi. So looking at the strategic plan for my field placement, some context, I'm doing an ESW, and I've worked with this agency for about 5 years. And this year, my field placement is more macro level. I'm focused more on quality improvement, quality assurance, and data analysis. So kind of setting some of these goals and measuring some of these metrics. Um, so I guess when I first looked at this plan, so we used to do our strategic plans as in 5-year increments, and about a year and a half ago, we decided to change that to 2-year increments, just to kind of keep it fresh and keep ourselves moving and measure things a little more quickly. And so we're about a year and a half out from that, and so this is that document. And then right now, my supervisors are working on the next strategic plan. So what I noticed when I first look at this is it's broken down into sort of functional objectives and goals, and then status, and then action. So it's 3 columns, and then it looks like 86 rows. So it's a pretty long document, and it's called the Strategic Plan Matrix, and it's just in the Google Drive. So my supervisors just shared the document with me. But status is mostly blank, and so that's not a good sign as we kind of come to a close on this document. And then action is also pretty blank. So that's about 25%. Yeah, 25% is filled in, and about 75% is blank. And so what I notice when I look at action is that things, the methods we're going to utilize to get ourselves reaching these functional objectives isn't very clear. So there isn't a clear path on the actions that need to be taken to reach those goals, and it's not very measurable, and it's not very direct. So there isn't a lot of accountability. And accountability is actually something that we have identified as lacking in our agency. And part of that's just we're a really small town. We all have dual relationships with each other, and we're also a mental health clinic. And so a lot of times when accountability issues come up, people tend to look at sort of the holistic whole picture of what's going on with the individual, and sometimes it's really hard to enforce performance metrics when you know everything about the people that we work with, because we live in such a tiny town. So we've actually contracted out, and we have somebody sort of helping us, and we're calling it a culture of accountability that we're trying to create. It doesn't look like there were a lot of consumer or community input in developing this plan. It looks like it was mostly developed. They talk a lot about like emerging illnesses and issues that our agency wants to address, and we have a consumer advisory council, and that would have been a perfect opportunity to get feedback from them. And we also have a board of directors with a couple people that have been clients before, so that would have been a good opportunity to get some feedback from them and have them sort of direct what we're gonna work on, rather than just basing it off of like upper leadership's interests or goals for the clinic. I see peer support specialists mentioned multiple times, sort of as a liaison between their staff members that also identify as having lived experience or being, consumers of the mental health system or services. And that's really cool, but it's definitely not all encompassing of all of the experiences that somebody who comes through our agency might have, like a substance use disorder or family systems or I don't know, supported employment, or the millions of other things that our agency does. They are kind of just speaking from their own experience. So not to minimize that in any way, but I just think that we could do better by getting more input.